Ah, Super Saiyan. Remember being a kid and wanting to become a Super Saiyan? Just not like that. But the hair, the bod, being able to shoot and fly still gets me to this day. Welcome to Nerd Power Hour, THEMZ the facts. And I'm Will at Heroic Studios, and today we are looking at the biology of a Super Saiyan. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more Nerd Power Hour content. We all know what happens during the Super Saiyan transformation. Spiky blonde hair, fiery aura, greenish blue eyes, and a significant power boost. But what happens biologically? I'm talking both physically and psychologically. So let's jump right on in. All right, so it was originally believed that the Super Saiyan transformation came in response to a need, not originally a desire, right? Any Saiyan can become a Super Saiyan. However, they required a large amount of S cells, yeah, you heard that right, S cells, in order to take on the form. S cells are basically the cells of a Saiyan. Example, think of them as metachlorians.
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
They live inside me.
Inside your cells, yes. And we are symbionts with them.
Symbionts?
Life forms living together for mutual advantage.
The more you have, the more one with the Force you are. Just, it's a little bit more on a biological level. Saiyans who have a gentle spirit gain more S cells. But when a Saiyan increased their battle power, they steadily gain more S cells. This explains why a Saiyan gets stronger after experiencing a near-death battle. Once the Saiyan has enough S cells, a feeling such as strong anger or sadness can transform a Saiyan into a Super Saiyan. Once a Saiyan has achieved the form, they can transform into it at any time.
You're going to love this. Trust me, what you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan.
A Saiyan who has a very large battle power can turn into a Super Saiyan without needing a trigger, which is quite amazing. Due to their tremendous amount of S cells, Saiyan's offsprings will also inherit S cells from their parents. And this is why Goten and Trunks were able to become Super Saiyans so easily. It must also be noted that when Gohan was born, Goku had not quite attained the Super Saiyan form just yet. Therefore, Gohan had a rough time trying to achieve it, as opposed to his younger brother Goten, who was able to achieve the form at a much younger age. This is because Goten was born way after Goku achieved the form and transferred his S cells over to Goten, making it easier for him to transform. Some say this was also the reason why Goten and Trunks were not born with a Saiyan tail. But, you know, that's still up for debate even to this day. So, how does a Saiyan become a Super Saiyan? Well, during the era of Dragonball Z, we all know how they got there. Great emotional stress was the cause to finally unlocking that power. But very recently, it was stated by Kaba in
What I do now is focus all my power right around here in the middle of my back.
Yeah, that's super weird, but that's what he said. So think of it as a tingling sensation between the shoulder blades, if you will. This method would eventually lead Khalifa to attain the Super Saiyan form herself. However, this changes how the Saiyan's emotional state is altered while in the Super Saiyan form. When a Saiyan experiences a transformation, while in an intense state of, let's say, emotional stress, and their psychological demeanor changes drastically. Any Saiyan that had previously demonstrated a peaceful or maybe calm or collected personality will become ruthless, overcome with rage, impulsive, vengeful, and unusually violent. Any Saiyan who already demonstrated those traits will have them completely amplified to an even greater degree. For example, when Frieza murdered Krillin, Goku went from a calm and collected fighter to a more vengeful warrior, for the sake of avenging Krillin, his best friend, and all that fun stuff. As an added note, this would explain why in the Super Saiyan form, Goku cannot gather energy for the Spirit Bomb. This is because in the form of a Super Saiyan, you must be pure of heart, and instead, as a Super Saiyan, your heart is full of rage and anger and all these other negative emotions that we won't. Khalifa, on the other hand, attained the Super Saiyan form while focusing her energy, as what Cabba stated before. This resulted in her maintaining her usual personality and emotions while in the form. Later on, when Vegeta became a Super Saiyan, he became even more rash and belligerent and became obsessed with defeating the androids. Of course, all by himself. Why not? This is usually a change from his smart, covert style he demonstrated during the Saiyan Saga and the Namekian Saga. On the flip side, though, when Gohan finally achieved form, he was able to keep his emotion in check. This is probably due to him being half human and all that, but that would later change when Gohan achieved the Super Saiyan 2 form, making him act in ways that he would never do as he was in his base form. Also, it's important to note that evil hybrid or clones of Saiyans would also get a distribution of SLs during their creation. This could result in a Saiyan having white hair instead of the usual blonde. This would include enemies like Fuse Zamasu maybe, Baby Vegeta, and other Saiyan hybrids in the Xenoverse games, and of course Super Dragon Ball heroes. So how strong is a Super Saiyan really? Aside from the slight increase in muscle mass, the power output while in this state is colossal. Akira Toriyama said that the form was meant to increase Goku's power by 10 times. What he had previously accomplished, which was the Kaioken times 20, I believe. However, fans all over suggest that the power increase is significantly more, suggesting that even when in the Kaioken times 20 form, Goku wasn't even a match for Frieza until achieving the Super Saiyan form. From this, fans have concluded that the power multiplier of the Super Saiyan form is more than 20. Later on, to combat the power of Android 17 and 18, as well as Cell, Goku and friends would have to discover a level beyond Super Saiyan. This caused Vegeta to discover the Super Saiyan second grade. Second grade. Who comes up with these names? Or what we call the Ascended Saiyan. In this form, every nerve is concentrated and is able to send ki throughout the body to grow muscle mass. That's why Vegeta was all super buff. It raises both power and speed, and it is force increase. What I'm trying to say is not a real transformation of the Super Saiyan. Because of this, it's not considered an actual transformation because it's not an actual form, just a branch of the Super Saiyan line, so to speak. The appearance of this form is similar to the basic Super Saiyan form, with subtle differences like paler and more rigid hair. Of course, you got the bulky muscles. However, the increase in muscle mass is not enough to weigh down the user. This allows the user to retain their agility and coordination, so that's a plus. The aura surrounding them becomes bigger and more jagged, with a bioelectric discharge occurring during the transformation. The Saiyan's behavior during the original transformation is, of course, magnified. Any and all control over the emotion attained while in the base Super Saiyan state is completely thrown out the window. The power boost while in this state has been said to multiply Vegeta's power by overall 3. However, the energy required to maintain this form was extremely substantial and would later become less ideal as other forms were attained. Going even further, Trunks ascended to the 3rd grade. That's the 3rd grade. That's funny. That's hilarious. Anyways, this form is also called Super Saiyan 1.5. This form is linked kind of to the legendary Super Saiyan in terms of bulky muscle mass, but not in terms of like super Broly. While in this form, the skin may appear to be redder due to the increased blood flow to the increased muscle mass. Gotta have that blood flow pumping those muscles. The hair grows bigger, spikier, and spread out all over the place, and in different directions also. The aura no longer flowed upward, but spurted out in all directions with continuous surges of bioelectric discharge. As well, during this form, the user was able to retain their height, which I don't know why that's a factor, but it is. Though power enough to possibly defeat Cell, the result of the increased muscle mass caused the speed of this form to be sacrificed, immediately cut down, leaving the user to not being able to hit his target. As far as energy is concerned, Super Saiyan 1.5 is 10 times as stronger than the previous form, though this is still being debated among fans to this day. However, the Saiyan's energy rapidly depletes due to the effort needed to simply just maintain the transformation. Fortunately for the Z fighters, Goku knew the hiccups with those second and third stages of Super Saiyan. While in the chamber, Goku and Gohan worked to perfect the initial transformation after deciding that that was probably the best overall form to begin with. This would be known as Super Saiyan Full Power. Bet you didn't know that, did you? I know you didn't. Goku and Gohan remained in the Super Saiyan states to get a natural feel for the form. The concept was making the Super Saiyan form feel no different in terms of energy output and strain than the base form of the user's body, which is smart, right? Because the Saiyan is in this state, they are able to regain their usual emotions as opposed to the enraged and vengeful emotion they usually get while in the original Super Saiyan form. In addition to this, their aura alters, causing it to be more calmer and in tandem than the rapid burst of spikes. Their hair becomes more yellowish white rather than the golden yellow of the regular Super Saiyan form. Of course, there comes some more benefits with this form. Because of all these factors, it has been stated that this form is the most powerful form of Super Saiyan, even surpassing Ascended Saiyan and the Super Saiyan 1.5 forms. This is also backed up by the fact that the Saiyan can sort of desensitize themselves to the negative effects of the transformation itself. This allows them to sort of keep their emotions in check, causing them to stay focused while they're fighting, which also results into them thinking more strategically while fighting. And ki consumption, of course, is reduced to a negligible amount. Because of the docile nature of this form, this would eventually lead Goku to finally being able to use the Spirit Bomb as a Super Saiyan. During his battle with Majin Buu, this was the case. So he had more control over his Super Saiyan negative stuff, so that's also fun. And of course, that brings us to Super Saiyan 2, but sadly, you're gonna have to wait until part 2 of this series. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell. I'm Will at Heroic Studios. Them were the facts. I hope to see you guys next time on Nerd Power Hour.